Chapter 6, the digestive system. The digestive system is also known as the digestive tract, the alimentary tract, the gastrointestinal system, as well as the GI system. The digestive tract is a long muscular tube lined with mucous membranes that extend from the mouth to the anus. The upper GI tract consists of the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, and stomach, and the lower GI tract is made up of the small and large intestines. We'll also be talking about accessory organs, which are salivary glands, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas, which secrete fluids that aid in digestion and absorption of our nutrients. Here are your learning targets for the beginning of this chapter. We're mainly going to be talking about the structures and functions. So the 4 functions of the digestive system. The first function of digestion is ingestion. This is the way the body takes in nutrients. In humans, ingestion is orally taking substances into the body. Digestion is the second function. This is the conversion of food into substances that can be absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract. There are 2 types of digestion. They're mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion begins in the mouth with chewing and continues with the churning actions in the stomach. The chemical digestion is done through enzymes. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are all transformed into smaller molecules through chemical digestion. The accessory organs then contribute digestive fluids to aid the process. After swallowing, the digestive system moves the food particles along the digestive tract and mixes them with enzymes and other fluids. These movements are brought about by contractions of smooth muscles of the digestive system. The presence of food in the digestive tube simulates a coordinated, rhythmic muscular contraction, which we call peristalsis. This is one of your pronunciation terms. So this is the movement of food along the digestive tube, is peristalsis. Then we have absorption, the third function. This is the process in which the digestive food molecules pass through the lining of the small intestines into the blood or lymph capillaries. The fourth function is elimination. This is the removal of undigested food particles, or waste. Wastes are excreted or eliminated through the anus in the form of feces. The anus is the opening of the large intestines to the outside. Elimination of undigested food particles is only one type of body waste elimination. We also have CO2, which is excreted by the lungs. We have excess water and other substances that are excreted in urine and perspiration. Next, we have the functions of the accessory organs. Accessory organs of the digestive system have additional functions. Production and storage of secretions that aid in chemical breakdown of food is one of their functions. So, for example, the gallbladder and pancreas add digestive substances, bile, and enzymes that aid in breaking down food into chemical units that can be absorbed. Your accessory organs also filter the blood. They break down toxic compounds. They store iron and some other vitamins. They synthesize plasma proteins, and they regulate blood glucose levels. We have 3 classes of nutrients that we take in our body. We have carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are your sugars and your starches. So you have 2 word parts for this one: glyco, which is sugar, and amylo, which is starch. So an example of a carbohydrate would be glucose or amylose. Those are the sugars found in starch. Our starches break down easily, and eventually they reduce to glucose before being absorbed into the blood. This digestion actually starts in the mouth when we're chewing. Amylase is an enzyme that's present in our saliva that helps break down amylose, the sugar found in starches. Another class of nutrients is proteins. Proteins are nitrous compounds that provide amino acids and building material for development, growth, and maintenance of the body. So you do have a combining form here, proteo, which means protein. And the last class of nutrients on this slide is fats. Okay, fats are also called lipids, and they serve as an energy reserve. When stored in fat cells, they form lipoid tissue that help to cushion and insulate vital organs. So you do have a combining form here. It's lipo, which means fat. Next, we have our digestive chemicals. We have two main digestive chemicals, bile and enzymes. Bile is a digestive chemical that breaks fats into smaller particles. This is preparing them for further digestion and absorption. You have two combining forms for bile. You have bili and chole. Digestive enzymes then act upon food substances, causing them to break down into smaller compounds. Enzymes are usually named by adding the suffix ase, okay, which means enzyme, to the combining form that it acts on. So, for example, lipase is the enzyme that acts on lipids. Then we have lactase. Okay, lactase is the enzyme that breaks down lactose. Lactose is the sugar found in milk. So if you've heard of somebody who is lactose intolerant, okay, they can't break down milk sugar on their own. Okay, they don't produce that lactase like they should. So they actually have over-the-counter meds called lactase that can help those individuals that are lactose intolerant. Ose, O-S-E, is a suffix that means sugar. Then we have proteinase. This is an enzyme that breaks down proteins. And then finally, amylase. Amylase is the enzyme that breaks down starches, which you heard me say on the last slide. This already starts in our saliva when we're chewing food up. Here we're looking at the digestive structures. Hopefully you have a pretty good idea of these labels from our first activity in class. Digestion begins in the mouth, which is number 1. Within the mouth, the teeth grind and chew the food before it is swallowed. The mass of chewed food in the mouth is called a bolus. Bolus is one of your pronunciation terms. So a bolus is a mass of chewed food. The pharynx, which is number 2, passes the bolus to the esophagus, which is number 3. The esophagus then leads to the stomach, which is number 4, where food is churned and broken down chemically and mechanically. The food is turned into a liquid mass in the stomach. That liquid mass of food is called chyme. Chyme is what's passed to the small intestines, where digestion continues and absorption of nutrients occurs. There are 3 parts to your small intestines, and they are labeled 5, 6, 7. Part number 1 is duodenum. That's number 5. The second part of the small intestines is the jejunum, which is number 6. And the last part of the small intestines is the ileum, which is number 7. Undigested food passes to the large intestines, which is number 8, where much of the water is absorbed. It is then stored in the rectum until it's eliminated through the anus, which is number 9. You'll also see that the salivary glands, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas is labeled on this structure. These are the accessory organs. So just take a peek at where they're located in regards to the digestive tract. Here's just another way of looking at how food passes through the digestive system. Okay, more in words. Food enters the mouth, then the pharynx, then the esophagus, then the stomach. Those are all the upper GI tract. And the salivary glands work with that upper GI tract. And then the lower GI tract is made up of the small intestines and the large intestines, which have the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas aid in digestion there. Here we're looking at the oral cavity. The oral cavity is the beginning of the digestive tract. Along with the esophagus and stomach, it's what makes up the upper GI tract. The mouth contains many structures that hold food in place and facilitate chewing. The part of the throat that's behind the mouth is called the oropharynx, if you remember that from last chapter. The roof of the mouth is formed by the bony arch of the hard palate and the fibrous soft palate behind it. If you lift your tongue up to the roof of your mouth, that's your hard palate. Behind that hard palate, you also have your soft palate. The term palatine means pertaining to the palate. A couple other things to point out. You have a word part bucco, which means cheek. In this picture here, you can see the buccal cavity, which is the area between the teeth and the cheeks. So you'll see that the buccinator muscle is located in that area. You also have the word part chylo. Chylo means lip. And then you have mucous membranes that provide support for your teeth. Those are your gums. Okay? Another name for gum is gingiva. And the pertaining to form of gingiva is gingival, pertaining to the gums. Here we're looking at the dental arch. Okay? The mandible is the lower jaw, and the maxilla is the upper jaw. Mandibular means pertaining to the mandible, the lower jaw, and maxillary means pertaining to the maxilla, or upper jaw. The mouth has an upper and lower dental arch, the curving shape formed by the arrangement of a normal set of teeth in the jaw. A complete set has 16 teeth in each dental arch, for a total of 32 permanent teeth. For labeling the types of teeth in the dental arch, you're seeing one side here. Number 1 is incisors. These are your front teeth. You have 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. Number 2 is your cuspid. Okay, your cuspid is your pointy tooth next to those incisors. Number 3 is showing your bicuspids. Okay, these are, some of us might call them smaller molars. Okay, but bicuspids have typically 2 peaks, bicuspid. And then 4 is your molars. Okay, your front teeth, your anterior teeth generally fall out and are then replaced sooner than those back teeth, those molars. The last molars, posterior to all other teeth, are called your wisdom teeth. Okay, these are what a lot of times people have then removed. Not everyone gets wisdom teeth. All right, lastly, we're going to look at some dental terms. So we have some combining forms. We have denti, dento, and odonto. All mean teeth. Then you have the term dental. Dental means pertaining to teeth. Then we have the term interdental. This means pertaining to between the teeth. Then we have the term denture. Denture refers to a set of teeth. This can either be your natural teeth or artificial teeth. Okay, but denture refers to a set of teeth. Okay, a lot of times we use it to talk about the artificial set though. Then we have dentilingual. Dentilingual means pertaining to teeth and the tongue. Then we have the endodontium. This is the soft tissue inside the tooth. It's also called the dental pulp. That's the endodontium. And then we have the periodontium or periodontal. The periodontium is the tissue investing and supporting the teeth. Okay, so periodontal means around, pertaining to around a tooth, or pertaining to the periodontium.